Hey guys, I'm Claire Pelletreau. Thank you so much for joining me today. First, let me know if you can see me, if you can hear me. The most important details, just throw something up in the chat box for me. Let's see, I think there's a little bit of a delay. Okay, awesome. Looks like you can hear me. I'm not sure if you can see me. Okay, cool. So there is a delay, but that's all right. I am going to go ahead and get started. Let me share my screen with you. Alrighty, share and play. Here we go. Okay, awesome. So again, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me here on my very first live workshop. Today, we're going to talk in detail about Facebook ads, some pretty advanced strategy. Some of this isn't, it might feel a little much like, oh, wait, I just need to learn how to create a simple ad. But trust me, this kind of information is really going to be valuable for you in the long run when you think about strategies overall. Let's see. Still looks like there's no play button. Is anyone able to see my screen? Okay, looks like Jeb can see the slides. We're good on video. Brian, thank you. Awesome. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, so let's get started. So what are we going to be covering in today's workshop? Basically, the main objective I have here is that you get a clear idea of a big picture strategy that includes Facebook ads. So we're not just talking about, ads to a sales page and then making millions of dollars, if only it were that simple. So you're going to really see what that overall strategy looks like. As a part of that, you're really going to see if Facebook ads make sense for your particular offering, because the truth is a lot of people are using Facebook ads when they shouldn't be, or not in the right strategy, and so of course they're not getting results because they're missing that serious element. And then we're also going to see what the best use of your ad budget is. So a couple other things that we'll be talking about, the 3 common mistakes that people make with Facebook ads that you should really avoid like the plague. 4 things that you need to have in place in your business. This is mostly on your website, but a couple back-end things too before you start running Facebook ads. And the 2 most popular ad strategies that the Facebook ad experts out there really, there's kind of a debate about which one is better. And I tested both of them out, and you're going to get my honest results on those. So a part of this, sort of towards the end, I'm also going to share with you how to actually sell using Facebook ads. If you were on my list about a week ago, you got an email about an experiment that I was going to run, which I was essentially going to stalk you with Facebook ads, which I did, and that was very successful. So that really ties into how to actually sell with Facebook ads. So here's a little bit about me. Who is this person who's just talking at you about Facebook ads? My name is Claire Pelletreau. I was born and raised in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I moved to Buenos Aires when I was about 23 years old. My goal was to kind of avoid the real world for a little, the real working world, and I have successfully done that, I think, since then. And it's been about 7.5 years that I've been living here. I call myself an accidental marketer because I never studied marketing. I never thought I would be interested in sort of the business area of things. I was a dancer and then in social work. So I ended up in marketing because I was teaching English here in Buenos Aires, and I just saw this need that companies had in order to get their message across to their English-speaking targets without having the skills themselves. So that's sort of how I got thrown into the whole arena of marketing, and I learned a ton by working with different startups and businesses, and then eventually I joined Laura Roeder's team at LKR Social Media. I left there, I guess, in May, and I've been doing my own thing ever since. Two most important things in my life right now are Ernesto, my fiance, and my cat, Larry David, who has a boy's name but is a girl. So if you were to check out Instagram, my Instagram, there's probably more pictures of Larry than anything else. But that's okay, because we all have our things. So what is the deal with Facebook ads? Anyway, the reason I decided to hold this workshop is because I kept seeing so many conversations, mostly in Facebook groups among different entrepreneurs, wondering if they really need to be getting on the Facebook ads boat. Because that's kind of how I feel like it is. Suddenly, they got really popular, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that we see other small business owners, but prominent business owners, using them and talking about how they were able to really get great results from investing in paid traffic. So Laura Roeder has talked in detail about how she incorporates organic Facebook marketing with Facebook ads, which is a really terrific tactic. John Lee Dumas has got Entrepreneur on Fire. He's the host of that podcast, and I believe that he has seen some crazy results, like, I don't know, $6,000 a month investing in Facebook ads and making $20,000 a month as a result, which is really unusual, but good for him. That's a great ROI. This guy in the middle, I'm not sure if you know him, is Noah Kagan from AppSumo. And if you're alive and on Facebook, then you've probably seen AppSumo's ads, because they are everywhere and they're so good. And it just drives a whole lot of traffic for them to build their list, and they really use their list to sell. If you don't know AppSumo, they have great deals on tools and products for startups and entrepreneurs. Jessica Kupferman, who is the host of Lady Business Radio, has actually shared with me in detail about the kinds of campaigns that she's run. She recently did 2 that got great results. One was just sort of general list building. So she ran ads that promoted some free content of hers, drove people over to her list and got them to sign up, and then also to get people to sign up for a webinar that she did recently. Natalie Lucier, I'm actually going to talk about in a little bit more detail, but she spoke with Natalie Sisson on the Suitcase Entrepreneur podcast about the very small ad budget that she uses every day to promote her free content, and how she actually gets she makes money off of those ads. So I'm going to give you a little bit more detail about that soon. And Marie Forleo, if you are breathing during the months of February and March, especially if you're a woman, then you've seen her ads. Marie doesn't just stick with Facebook ads. You can see she's got retargeting, which are those ads that follow you around the web, so they could be on different websites and banners. I'll be reading the news on an Argentine website, and there's a picture of Marie on the side. So she definitely invests in paid advertising in order to bring people over to her site during her launch. So the thing that all these business owners have in common is that, well, there are a couple things. One is that their businesses, their products, their offerings are already converting on their own. They're high converting products, which means they've got the design, the sales copy, the street cred, so that when people are brought into their world and introduced to their products, people buy. The other thing is that their Facebook ads are not being run in a bubble. They are definitely part of an overall strategy, and that's what we're going to be looking at today. So I want to start with some of the big misconceptions about Facebook ads, and these are the kind of things that I see going around in these Facebook groups and the conversations, which are great conversations because there's usually somebody saying, wait, whoa, 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 no, you can do things, but it takes it takes some learning, and there are smart ways to use Facebook ads. So unfortunately, Facebook ads are not the magic potion that you can just inject into your launch and see great results. So I get a lot of people who come to me and they want to hire me to work on their launches and grow their lists tremendously right before they launch. And sometimes that works really well. But remember what I said about these people who have kind of these high converting offers? It's a great idea to use Facebook ads to promote or to grow your list before something that you already know is going to do well. You know that people buy, you know people are excited about it. So that might mean waiting and making sure that you've got organic traffic to your landing page to make sure that that landing page is a high converter, because here's the thing, when you run Facebook ads, that's cold traffic. So it's very possible that your landing page will not convert with cold traffic the way it does with people who have been recommending you or have already heard about you or know your brand. So they see some offer of yours and then they get in on it. Cold traffic is very different. So I really encourage people to go through their first launch, for example, without running Facebook ads, or if they are going to run them, to really consider it as an experiment, because it might not pay off the first time, but it certainly can later on down the line. So the second big misconception is something I could really rant about for a long time. You might have seen me rant about it on my blog, and that is about boosting a post. Facebook has it's brilliant what they've done, which is a really easy button that just auto-fills with, I don't know, $5 or $10 to boost a post. I even almost got caught up in it the other day because I just wanted something fast. But the problem with boosting a post, okay, there are about 3 or 4 different things about boosting a post that is just super shady on Facebook's part, and most of it has to do with them hiding the really valuable information, the valuable targeting options mostly. But at the end of the day, the reason in the end I did not boost this post and just decided, forget it, I'm going into the Power Editor as usual, is that you cannot track your conversions. So I actually ran sort of 2 different campaigns where I was like, okay, I'm just going to try this boost post button. And I got this engagement. I got clicks on my post, which was all about this webinar, but I couldn't see a single thing about who signed up for it. I have no idea if any of you came from that boosted post. I saw some engagement, but I'm sorry, engagement, like likes and comments, yeah, that helps you get reach, which is good, but when you're talking about spending your money, you need to get results, and you need to know what's working, and that's all about conversion tracking. With boosting your posts, you can't track your conversions. The final one is tricky because when you're putting money into anything, you really want to know. I mean, you're really happy if not only do you make that money back, but then you make a lot more money off of it. So I do feel like ROI is not the only thing that matters. I had a client, one of my earliest clients, who said, yeah, this was great. I'm not quite sure if we made any sales off of those Facebook ads, but I got 2 private one-on-one coaching clients. So those clients paid for the ads. They weren't a direct result because we don't know how many people exactly converted during her launch to customers, but her brand became much more recognized. She became top of mind for people. And that happens to me all the time when I see ads for other small business owners, other coaches, or experts, that I see their ads. I don't necessarily click on them, but they get on my radar. And that's really important for your brand, even just getting yourself out there, especially if your images are good and you convey your voice in the message. That helps me figure out who you are, and then maybe the next time somebody mentions you or shares a post of yours on Twitter, I'm like, oh wait, yeah, that sounds familiar. I'm going to click that. I'm going to check that out. It's part of the know, like, and trust process. So yes, if you're spending tons and tons of money on Facebook ads, yeah, you need to be really aware of your ROI and of what's making you money and what is actually just losing money for you. But in terms of being so bummed out, for example, by campaigns that don't get a lot for you, and that's what happens when you run your beginner campaigns. Facebook ads have a learning curve, so try not to get too bummed out about that. So let me just take a quick sip of water. What kinds of businesses truly benefit from Facebook ads? This may not be fun to hear, but it's the truth. Products or services with higher price points do better with Facebook ads. And this is a question of math. This is all about your conversion rate. So let's say you get you spend $100 and you get 100 new signups to your list, $1 per signup, which is great. It can definitely be done. It's not something I'm going to promise to anyone because it really depends on your target audience, how much you end up spending on leads. But say you spend $100 and you get 100 signups, and your price point is $500. What if only one person out of 100, so a 1% conversion rate, what if only one person buys? You've made back your $100 and you've made $400 off of it. So obviously higher price points, products or services with higher price points allow you to spend more, but still make your money back, and more than that. So the other thing, and this goes back to what I was saying about really kind of testing things out with organic traffic, but businesses that have organic traffic that converts are already going to do better with Facebook ads. It can have a lot to do with design or with your brand, your messaging, your opt-in content or whatever, but if you're already doing well enough, and I'm not talking about a ton. I, for example, don't get a lot of traffic, not even now, but the traffic that does come into my site, signs up for my free content, engages with me, emails me to let me know, what they need. It's kind of a warm list, if you will. So those businesses are always going to do better with Facebook ads. And this ties into that, but great brands that are just underperforming, and usually great brands underperform because they're not exposing themselves enough to the market. They're not putting themselves out there. They might feel like, oh, this is kind of pushy, or nobody wants me to share my blog post so much, or I don't really need to tell anybody about this new launch. But yeah, if you've already got a really great foundation, you're going to do a lot better with Facebook ads. So the other side of the coin is that there are businesses that really are going to struggle with Facebook ads. For example, low price point products. If we take the exact same example of $100 for 100 subscribers, but your product costs $50 or even $100. Let's say it costs $100. If you get one person to buy your $100 product, you break even. That's it. So that will have been not just the money you spent on Facebook ads, but the time to optimize and create your images and write your copy, and you will have broken even. Sure, you get a lot more people on your list and they might convert later, but if you have a product that's less than $100, then you're not going to make your money back with only one purchase. You need more than that. And you really need to be conscious of the conversion rates, meaning what % of people visit your sales page that actually buy before you start running Facebook ads. So this second one is kind of funny. Businesses in the weight loss industry, I mean, it's not funny for them because I have run into business owners who have really struggled because they know Facebook ads could be a great tool for them, but they cannot get their ads approved. And I recently had a client who works with women in like 45 and up on just getting healthy and on losing weight. But that right there was the key. When I switched the ad copy from losing weight to getting healthy and getting in shape, all of a sudden I was able to get my ads approved, because every single thing got disapproved. And it's not just about your ad copy, it's also about your landing page copy. So you kind of have to be aware, like, am I going to have to rebrand every single thing just to fit in with, just to get approved by Facebook ads? And that might not make sense for your business if you really do work in the weight loss industry. Ad copy that talks about, losing weight is really effective. It gets people to click. So if the problem is you just can't get them approved. So I don't really think that it's a good fit for everyone to rebrand in order to use that kind of language, but it is something you need to think about as you create your content, your offerings, etc. So the last one is your target audience just isn't doing business on Facebook. They might be on Facebook, but they're not necessarily looking for the solution that you have there. They might find that in other places. So let me give you an example. A friend of mine who I think is actually on here right now on our workshop, she has a product that helps you create websites if you are a doctor or a dentist. And we ran Facebook ads for her, and like everything was good. Landing page, copy, everything was really solid. But the problem is that doctors and dentists, well, first of all, that's a very old school business. So it's kind of difficult just to get people to say, oh yes, I need a much prettier website than the terrible one I have. But apart from that, they're not on Facebook looking for that solution. They might be checking out their kids' photos or networking with people from grade school or whatever, but they're just not on Facebook looking for a service provider who's going to get them a great website. It's unfortunate, but it's true. And there are a few different target audiences like this, so you really need to be aware of who your ideal customer is and whether or not they're on Facebook in order to find your solution. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the anatomy of a big picture strategy that includes Facebook ads. There are 3 of these. I'm going to talk about a launch that has a product, either a digital product or a physical one. Then an evergreen product, so a product that's on sale all the time, and then also for services, if you're a services-based business. They are similar, but there are some small tweaks. So for a launch, like this is a launch. You might have seen my Facebook ads, you got onto the landing page for this workshop, you sign up, and then you get the pre-launch content, which is this workshop or blog posts or other things that you might have designed for your launch. And then you pitch me your product during a webinar or after a free challenge or via email, whatever your style is. And again, if I don't become your customer this time, if I'm not one of those 1 or 2 or 3 or more, if you're lucky, out of 100 that convert to customer, I might next time, because I'm on your list and I've gotten to know you and I know what you're about. So the next one is for an evergreen product. This is very similar, except after I get onto your list, you pitch me your product periodically. A really great example of this is Denise Stuffield-Thomas, who's got the Lucky Bitch Bootcamp, which is a money mindset program. Every week, Denise sends out her newsletter that's got a personal message from her and then probably a blog post. Maybe there's also a case study of somebody who has gone through the bootcamp, and then there's more information about getting the bootcamp. This is I think right now it's an almost $800 product, and she doesn't open and close the cart, and she says it's because she likes more instantaneous results, instant gratification, which I completely understand. So the thing is, I'm on her list and I have thought about the bootcamp, but just because I haven't bought it yet doesn't mean I'm not going to. And the fact that she keeps churning out really great content every week, it just continues to move me along in that know, like, and trust process. So it's very probable, just because I'm a big fan of her work, that I will eventually buy that product. And when will I do it? On Wednesday or Thursday, whichever day of the week she emails out, because the call to action will be right there in the email. So this is another thing. If somebody goes through your newsletter that includes pitches or different links to blog posts that maybe tie into your product and they don't unsubscribe, it means that they like you. They're moving through that know, like, and trust process. So there is a future for us. And finally, for a services-based business, which I think a lot of people don't really talk about when it comes to Facebook ads, but that is how I got my initial clients and have made money and grown my list pretty quickly, which was terrific. So that's just a Facebook ad to my landing page, which you opt in to get a free guide to list building with Facebook ads. Then you get that guide, and at some point you realize, oh wait, I can hire her because I periodically point people in the direction of my services page. I let them know how they can hire me, because even though they might sign up to learn something that's DIY, they might just realize, okay, I'm interested in hiring you or getting more one-on-one training. So this is something that it's really basic, but I think people don't quite realize how effective it is. But this helps you remain super top of mind. So other people, even if they don't become your clients, they are almost definitely going to recommend you to other people. This is really the importance of being consistent in your marketing, especially for services-based business. If I need somebody to create a logo and I get onto your list at some point and you're a designer, well, when the time comes for me to get that logo, who am I going to go with? Somebody that I've never heard of, or I do a Google search? No, somebody who's top of mind, somebody whose emails I enjoy opening up on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. Okay, so I'm going to go into a little bit of detail about the kinds of list building strategies that there are. Obviously, those three overall strategies were all about list building to begin with, list building and eventually pitching. But there were two different strategies that ad experts typically like to talk about. The very first one is what I call the direct one. It is add to list. This is one of my ads. You might have signed up with it. This just sends you to my landing page, and you either opt in or you don't, and you're either on my list or not. It's really straightforward. It's one campaign that you can have running all the time at specific times in the year, really whenever you want. The second one is what I call the indirect one, and this is two separate campaigns. The very first one is a campaign to get people to like your page, and then the second one is another campaign, a list building campaign that only targets your fans. So first you get them to become a fan, and then you show them ads as a fan on your Facebook page. This strategy works wonders for some people. This is one of Ken Morgan's ad. Ken owns Two's a Crowd. It's a great travel agency that specializes in tours for solo travelers. His target market is focuses on older travelers. So this is an ad that he uses to get people to like their page, and like his page, excuse me. And he tells me that he thinks that his target audience doesn't have as many friends as somebody in a younger demographic, so their news feeds aren't just completely packed with selfies or whatever. This kind of image, this kind of ad is actually welcome. It's refreshing in their news feed. So he really thinks that that is essential to getting really inexpensive likes, but targeted likes, people in the right demographic for him. So then this would be the ad to get the likes on a page, and then I don't have an ad to show you, but he just gets people onto his list with a different ad that really just looks like an organic Facebook post, but that just gets boosted, if you will, but correctly, and more people see it. So what happened when I tested these two strategies? Now, direct list building that's sort of my specialty. Those are the kinds of ads that I run for my clients. And when I ran this ad and I targeted people who liked Amy Porterfield, and it also had a couple other key demographics in there, I got my signups for $1.60 each. Not bad, especially given the rising cost of Facebook ads. I was happy with it. Then I tried an ad with the same target audience that was just to get page likes. Now, granted, this image is probably not optimized for this kind of ad, but I just like testing and getting things out there. So that's what I used. And as you can see, it was almost $1 per like. Now, maybe after I got people to like my page and I then showed them ads to get on my list, maybe those other ads would have cost me less, and maybe I would have gotten to that $1.60, something similar. But that's two different campaigns that I have to put together, optimize, pay attention to. It looked to me like direct list building, at least at the time and with the target audience that I was looking at, it made more sense to do direct list building. But I actually got an email today from somebody who said, I want them to get to know me more before I pitch them. And if that's how you feel, awesome. Use the page like strategy, because people have reported just really inexpensive likes and then cost per signups. So again, this is something that you can play with and experiment with. So what do you need in place in your business in order to run list building ads? Well, first, obviously, you need the opt-in content. You need to give people a reason to sign up for your list. If you've just got a, hey, sign up for my newsletter kind of thing on your website, I don't recommend that you drive paid traffic to that. It's just not enticing enough. This is Natalie Lucier's 30-day list building challenge. If you're not familiar with it, it's literally 30 days of rockin' content, step-by-step what you should do to build your list. And it's in a video format. Every day you get an email. It's really terrific. So this is actually something that is so powerful that Natalie talks about this in that podcast interview, that people love this content so much that they just share it on their own. I mean, it's also 30 days, so there are kind of many opportunities to share. But when you are driving paid traffic to something that people love so much that they share it, you may see that you get $1.60 cost per conversion on Facebook, but what you have no idea about is how many people sign up as a result of those shares. So the juicier your content, the more it solves somebody's serious problem, the more likely you are going to have that slightly viral effect. You also need a highly converting landing page. What we're looking at here is actually Natalie's landing page. So it does not have to be, it doesn't have to look like this. It doesn't have to be a lead pages page, although that's, lead pages are all the rage right now, and they can be effective. But I have a really simple landing page. If you go to clairepels.com/free/-guide, you'll see mine. It is simple, black and white. It's even got the nav bar, which you're not supposed to have. But I tested that against lead pages, one particular template in lead pages, and mine worked better. So you really don't need to buy anything expensive in order to create a good landing page. The third thing you really need is a thank you page on your domain. So the thank you page is what people see when they opt into your content. And all email providers have their automatic one. This is the one that you see from MailChimp. Infusionsoft's got one, Aweber, Constant Contact, all of them. But the problem with this is that in order to successfully run Facebook ads, you need to be tracking your results. I'm gonna be a broken record about that. But in order to do that, you need to put a really easy snippet of code on the back end of your thank you page, which you can't do if it's not on your domain. There's a really simple WordPress plugin for doing that. It's very easy, but again, it's got to be a page on your domain. So once again, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. A page that says, great, you're almost there, head over to your inbox to confirm your subscription. Really clear call to action. And finally, your delivery email, which you can set that up in your email provider to send to people once they've confirmed, and that can have a link to your video or your PDF, or it can, be the first in a series of emails for an email course, whatever your free content is. A couple extras. I really strongly recommend that you get Google Analytics tracking everything, which means, especially if you're using something like lead pages, you need to put Google Analytics on those pages separately, even if you use a plugin to integrate it with your website, because this is that question of, is the traffic that's coming from Facebook ads converting at the same level as a little warmer traffic, meaning referrals, guest posts that you've written, or social media, something like that. You can only get that data if you have Google Analytics set up, as well as a goal in Google Analytics set up. Then, lastly, some kind of follow-up sequence is really ideal. That follow-up sequence can be your weekly email, and that's it. But something you really don't want to spend money to get subscribers and then not contact them again until you're going to try to sell them something. It doesn't work. So let's look at some of the most common mistakes. Okay, the first one is not tracking conversions. And at this point, I'm sorry to say, but there's really no excuse anymore not to, because now that you've got plugins and Facebook has actually made this process super easy, there's really no reason not to have conversion tracking set up. However, boosting posts means that you're not, even if you've got the conversion tracking set up, the way Facebook has structured it, you won't have any idea how many people converted from your boosting posts. So again, that's another reason to stay away from the boost post button. The next really common mistake I make is to target audiences that are way too big. I know that it gets really exciting where you're like, oh my God, I could reach 800,000 people with this ad or more. Look, they're in my target audience. They like the same. They seem to like social media marketing too, so I'll target that interest, and that's what my business is kind of sort of related to. But I recommend, maximum 200,000, but I really try to get closer to 50,000, even 10,000. I let my ads go small, my target audiences, because first you're just more likely to have better traffic, better people who are more likely to be good prospects for your business being shown in a smaller target audience. The other upside is if you've got a nice big audience that really does have the interests that make sense for your business, split those babies up, because your ads are always going to deteriorate. You can run the same ad for a long time, and eventually you're just going to see that the same people are going to be shown that ad. They're going to get tired of it. They might even say, show no more ads from these people. So when I see that my cost per conversions are going up or my click-through rates are going down, I very quickly pause those ads and start targeting a different segment. So I like to segment by age or by location, because you know that those people, they're not going to exist in kind of like two different interest groups. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but it's just very simple. Somebody who's 25 on Facebook is never going to be mixed up in a group of people who are 35. So it's a great way to segment down. Another mistake that I see a lot is writing ad copy that makes sense to you, that kind of fits with your brand, but it doesn't make sense to anyone who doesn't know you. I really, I emphasize this a lot while working with people, is the importance of writing copy that's simple, that anyone who has never heard of you or your brand can, one, understand, and two, relate to. Now, it is still a good idea to convey who you are and what your business is about, and not try to attract the wrong people. That can really happen with simple Facebook copy. But don't use your tagline or even the name, the like funny name that you've given your opt-in content, because if I've never heard of you, that just doesn't make sense to me. And as soon as I get confused by something, and this happens with everyone on Facebook, as soon as they get confused, they click over to BuzzFeed or they just scroll down. They'll do anything but try to figure out what's going on a social network where they're just hanging out. So I hope that makes sense. So what are the actual keys to a successful Facebook ad campaign? Obviously, the first one is having a complete strategy in place, understanding what your objective is before you start investing money. And then the second one, and this is, okay, I know that it is easier said than done, but it's really about nailing the creative, which is your ad copy and images, getting that targeting super focused, and knowing how to optimize your ads once they're running. And that brings me to the thing that I was really super excited to share with you guys, especially since this is the first time I am out there launching, which is my course, Absolute FB Ads. Absolute FB Ads is the complete guide to mastering and actually enjoying marketing your business with Facebook ads. So when I first started my blog, I got a lot of great feedback about the how-to articles, the things that really showed you step-by-step how to create things. And it was funny because a lot of the feedback I got was, oh, this is so helpful, it's so clear. I've been so overwhelmed by Facebook ads. Even people who had actually bought and gone through other programs about using Facebook ads to grow your business. But here's the thing. Facebook ads, like it or not, is like this huge beast, and there are tons of options, and I think Facebook does that to really appeal to some bigger companies as well, you know, like massive advertisers, giving them lots and lots of different options. But the truth is, the small business owner does not need that many options. So I was extremely intentional when I created Absolute FB Ads to make sure that you have enough to go from zero to your ads running, to then seeing what works and knowing what to do in order to improve the ads without giving you all that extra information. It's really what you need to know and nothing else. So what does Absolute FB Ads cover? It really goes from start to finish, which is first getting you through that whole question of strategy, which we talked about. Which one of these strategies are you going to use? Is it going to be a direct link list building or page likes to list building campaigns? Then getting your conversion tracking set up, which again is super simple. Nailing down that perfect target audience so that your ads are really only being seen by people who have serious potential to become your clients or customers. Then I give you my own system for writing killer ad copy in a short period of time, and that's going to help you avoid that question of including your brand in the copy or just being unclear in the words that you use with your Facebook ads. Then I'm going to show you how I create images that get clicks but that don't get rejected. So if you have spent any time with Facebook ads, you've probably experienced that really annoying little red notification that your ads have been disapproved. And more often than not, it has to do with your image. So I'm going to show you exactly how to create those images in order to make sure they don't get rejected. Because if your ad is rejected, any part of it, you need to do the whole creative section all over again. This is one of the downsides of the Power Editor, is that you can't edit your ads once you've created them. Those are the breaks. So then you will understand the actual structure of Facebook campaigns. They used to be a lot simpler, but Facebook rolled out ad sets not long ago, and they're actually updating those in like 10 minutes or something. So that really threw a wrench in how people tried to plan out their ad campaigns and didn't quite understand. So I'm going to really give you a step-by-step instructions on that, as well as a tour of the Power Editor so that you really see everything that you need and nothing else. Again, that is really what I'm focusing on here. You'll also get very clear on how much you can expect to spend and what makes sense for your offering with some formulas that I've put together for your budgets, and also when to schedule your campaigns, how long you need to let your ads run, etc. Then this part is like 90% screenshot, which is just step by step, getting your ads up and running in the Power Editor. And then after they've been running, I'll show you exactly how to dive into Facebook's reports. Now, most people actually don't know that these reports are even in there. And once you get to them, it's like no wonder people get overwhelmed, because the number of things that Facebook shows you initially, it's like, well, what do I do with this? I have no idea what this means. But I show you exactly how to tweak your report so that you're only looking at numbers that you can actually make sense of and then take action on and improve your campaigns. So you might be thinking, oh man, I really like the sound of this, but the Power Editor, I just can't. Please, here's how I feel about the Power Editor. First, there are limitations to the Ads Manager, which is the regular interface that you may or may not already be creating your ads with. The limitations are typically about the number of characters you can use, so you can pretty much only create ad copy that has just a couple words, and you're like, how am I supposed to get a good call to action into that? The other problem is the targeting options, which are all hidden, and Facebook does this on purpose in order to get more money out of you. But the real reason to just like bite the bullet and learn the Power Editor is that it is something that you can learn. I kind of feel like the Power Editor is what WordPress was for me, or MailChimp, which I'm still working on. But it's something that is really difficult at first, but eventually you learn it and you get through it, and you might not love it, but you're able to put together your blog posts, copy that paste that stuff in there, format them, add images, schedule them. These are things you can do. Maybe you've actually you've outsourced that, and Facebook ads are the same. Facebook ads you could easily hand off to somebody on your team after you've mastered them, and then you just simply teach somebody on your team, somebody who's kind of right-brained, who really has a knack for those kind of things, Google Analytics, things like that. And then the question of implementing your strategy is really actually simple. It does not need to be something that weighs down on you and your business, another thing to think about. So in honor of this very special launch, I really wanted to thank you guys so much for being a part of my list here in the beginning. I mean, I've only been working full-time since May, and I've just had an amazing response from you guys. So part of Absolute FB Ads this time around is this bonus, which is Absolute Bootcamp. Absolute Bootcamp is 30 days of you and me and the other boot campers getting down with your business, your ads, and your results. So here's how it works. It is, for the first 5 days, 5 daily emails from me with very specific instructions. Today, you're going to identify what page you want to target, or what page you want to drive traffic to. Now you need to get your conversion tracking set up. Now you're going to write 2 sets of ad copy and create, I don't know how many images. And each day you will post what you're working on to the Facebook group, and that's where I will give you very personalized feedback on each of those pieces to make sure that you optimize your campaign before it's even running. So for example, when you post a link to your landing page, I'll take a look and I'll tell you, hey, you know, I think your headline could be stronger, or I'm not really sure where I'm supposed to look, that image is a little distracting, things like that. Same with your ad copy and your images and your target audience as well. So that lasts for a month. After, I'll be like very full-time and active in that group for the first month. Afterwards, if the group is still useful for people, for advertisers, then it will definitely stay open. But this is not going to be another Facebook group where you kind of go and end up wasting half your day just chatting about different business things. This will be really focused on your Facebook ads. So this kind of training and then personalized feedback is a service that I provide right now for almost $500. But in honor of this big launch that I'm just so excited about, I am throwing it in for the regular price of Absolute FB Ads, which is $97. So if you really are ready to get serious about Facebook ads, to stop wasting all of your time, I really recommend you jump in right now, because I do not see myself including the bootcamp at this price moving forward. It's just a lot of personal feedback, and I'm doing that because I really want to make sure you guys get the most out of your advertising budget. So there should be a button right below this video right now, or more info, etc. Right now I'm going to transition to talking to you about that experiment that I did, that I told you about in that email, which was that I was going to stalk you with my Facebook ads. I was going to show you an ad talking about this workshop, and then I wanted you to comment on it if you saw it, and just tell me that you knew what I was doing, and you did, which was really awesome. I got a number of great comments saying, okay, I see what you're doing, and I wanted to make sure that I covered this and what this kind of ad actually is. And what this is called is a custom audience. I basically uploaded my list of emails. You guys are on my list, and I uploaded that to Facebook and created an audience called blog subscribers. And then inside the Power Editor, under the audience, I selected that custom audience in order to run my ads only to people on this list. So this is how you want to sell using Facebook ads. I really don't recommend trying to get really cold traffic to your sales page. It just doesn't make much sense. That's why I really recommend list building. But if you are in a launch, especially like in the final days, this is what I did for a recent client of mine, which was we put together ads that said, hey, the cart is closing on Thursday. Check out what other customers, the results that other customers have gotten in their business. And we directed them to a testimonials page that also had a call to action to purchase. And that was really effective in getting people who may or may not be opening their emails, because let's face it, we just don't open all of our emails. So that's a great way to make sure that people are aware that they can purchase from you. The other great thing is that you can exclude audiences. So the other thing that we did in that specific campaign is that I exported a list of the people who had already bought my client's product. And I created a custom audience inside the Power Editor, and then I excluded them from those ads to make sure that nobody who had already purchased was going to be bothered with more Facebook ads about purchasing this product. So that is, it's very simple, but that is how you sell to your list. And again, I recommend doing it towards the end of a launch. You can do it evergreen, but it really works when you can create the urgency with something like, hey, cart's going to close, etc. So that is it for the workshop. I'm going to address a couple questions that I received via email, and then if there are other questions, honestly, I haven't been looking in the chat box, so I'm going to check that out for just a second, and then I'm going to get into some of those answers. Okay, now I have to find this. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, cool. All right, so first I'm going to address a question I got via email from Andrea. I don't know if it's Andrea or Andrea, sorry about that, which was really interesting. It's about selling on Facebook. So her question is, I sell jewelry, so the problem I'm trying to solve for a customer is often a hard one to find. And that's because I talk a lot about writing about the problem that people have in your ad copy. I have actually stopped running Facebook ads because they were costing way more than they were bringing in for revenue and/or newsletter signups. I was targeting customers who like competitors that are similar to me and fashion brands that would go well with my jewelry. And then she also included a little bit of her ad copy so that I could give her some feedback. Here's the thing. Unfortunately, for things like jewelry, anything, again, that has a lower price point, it is going to be difficult to sell with Facebook ads. It might be a good idea to use Facebook ads to target your list particularly if you're running a sale, get people really excited and, again, a sense of urgency. But it might not be a good fit. It sounds like your targeting was really spot on. That's something that I would consider for your ad copy, which is very, you need to speak to your particular, to the person who's really most likely to buy from you. And I think the last one is probably my favorite, yoga, spiritual, and boho jewelry, because that helps the person figure out, oh, wait, this is for me, or it's not. But I would go into a little bit more detail. I mean, use the space that you have, especially in the Power Editor, because you can create longer ads, to describe who you are and how the jewelry can make you feel, or how the effects of having a feeling, that just amazing feeling of when you know that you're wearing something beautiful, or you feel great at being kind of connected with the spirituality and the yoga and that boho feeling by wearing the jewelry. You could try to play with ad copy that really goes to that feeling. I hope that makes sense. But another thing that you might want to try is retargeting, which is using Facebook ads to target people who have already visited your product page. That's sort of a completely different animal that I would love to get into, actually on a different webinar. But keep an eye out for something on the blog on that, because it's certainly a great idea for retail stores. The next one came from Malika, who is a money mindset coach. She says, I see lots of unpublished posts on FB ads. Does that mean no to sponsored posts? I like the idea of getting interest on my page first and then promoting it via ads. Is that still possible? What are the pros or cons to unpublished posts? So my guess is that you're hearing people talk about unpublished posts because you can't see them. That's the point of them. But sponsored posts are the same as unpublished posts. What an unpublished post is, okay, let me go back a little bit. Basically, when you're creating a page post ad, which is the majority of ads that you see right now, not sidebar ads though, you have two choices. You can either grab a post from your Facebook page that you've already posted there and turn it into an ad, or you can create an unpublished post. Some people call them dark posts, so that you're really creating a brand new post, but you never publish it to your Facebook page. That way you're not bombarding your page with the same call to action. The pros of unpublished posts is that you're not bombarding your page with the same call to action in order to then turn it into an ad. The only con is the following, that what's great about Facebook ads is the social proof aspect. So when you take a post that has done really well on your page, and it's got likes and comments and shares, and when you turn that into an ad instead of going the unpublished post route, that can be a little more powerful in showing people, oh wow, this is cool. People are excited about that. People are commenting. They're clicking. Start to pay attention to that in the ads that you see on your page. Which ones, already have a lot of action on them in terms of engagement? How does that make you feel? When I see ads that don't have any of that, and I go, oh yeah, that's kind of too bad. But that's how every single unpublished post starts, including mine. If you create an unpublished post, then you're going to start with 0 engagement. What's the best way to optimize a $150 a month budget? Start strong. Spend more early, because Facebook rewards spending. You win bids, and then Facebook kind of sees that as successful. So I would maybe spend $20 a day for a few days, more than that if you can, and then just gradually decrease it. You do not need to have ads running all the time. There's really no reason for that. So that is just my suggestion. Okay. Another question from Natalie. I've been seriously running ads since July, and my biggest struggle in the changing in conversion costs for the same audience and copy. We started about $1.50 per email address, but can't seem to get anything less than $4 $4 per email now. Okay, two things are probably happening. One, Facebook ads have started to increase in price since July, actually. But since you started at $1.50, my guess is just that your audience is saturated. You certainly can't run the same ad copy nonstop. Even different ad copy and images, but for the same thing, people get tired of. So I would not. I would take a break, look for a different target audience, and when you do run ads, definitely segment your audience out so that you can continue to run ads, but be not hitting the same people all the time. Okay, let me just move on. Okay. This is from Nadia. If I use the duplicate button, can I then go in and make small edits to the ad I've duplicated? I think I can do this in the ad manager. Yeah? No. Unfortunately, this is the problem with Facebook, with the Power Editor, is that you can't make any changes to the creative. You can make changes to your target audience, so that's a great use of the duplicate button. And you can change the placement, so on mobile or on desktop, but you cannot change the copy of your ad, the image, or the link. So in order to do that, you're going to have to create a different, a completely different ad. And Nadia also sent me one of her ads so that I could give her some feedback. My main problem with this ad is that I kind of don't know where to look. I feel like there are a lot of different things going on. I'm giving 10 free spots to a talk on September 6th. Then I have the different things that you're covering, which, as you can see, get cut off. I can't read them right away without clicking on that See More button. And then I have on your image, learn the 4 secrets to successful singing, and in your headline, sing anything you desire, get the tools you need. So those are 3 very different kinds of copy. I would just pick one. Might be, well, the fact that you're giving away 10 free spots is really cool, but I would just simplify what that means. Tell me, I don't understand, you're giving a talk about what, put that right up front. Simplify it. And if the talk is the 4 secrets to successful singing, just put that. So that is what I recommend for to improve this ad in particular. Okay, so I know that I do have some more questions. We've hit about an hour here. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I'm going to hang out, answer these questions. If you have others, keep putting them into the chat. I will get to them. So let's see. My Facebook ads have all been duds. They lead to a Webinar Jam sign-up page with no sign-ups. Do you recommend setting audience size small, like 200K, or larger, more like 2 mil? No. No. Definitely, I would go smaller. I haven't seen, your webinar page or your ad copy, but you definitely don't want to go bigger. You're going to be including too many people who are the wrong fit. So you really need to identify exactly who is the best fit, and then filter that puppy down in the targeting. So then Brian asks, are you using Facebook's retargeting tool or a third-party one? I have used third-party ones in the past, and I haven't actually used the retargeting tool yet, but I'm collecting the data on it. So that's something where you need to put a pixel on the back of your website, and Facebook will collect information about who has visited your page, so then you can target, like I mentioned to Andrea, sorry, to target people who have visited a very particular page on your website, like your products page, but who didn't buy. So that means they visited this page, but they did not visit the success page, the thank you page. So that kind of information, you need to have that pixel putting together that information for you. So right now, I am still at that stage, but I'll definitely be writing about this once I do it for myself. I'm really excited to give it a try. So what tool do you recommend for the follow-up sequence? MailChimp, Aweber? I've only used MailChimp and Infusionsoft. MailChimp just rolled out these automation, this automation feature, which I think is their way of trying to get to be a little more advanced, like some of the bigger guns, like Entreport and Infusionsoft. That's a paid feature, by the way. But I really like MailChimp, and I think it's certainly inexpensive enough to pay for that kind of automation. I'm pretty excited to put it into practice myself. I can't speak for Aweber, but lots and lots of people love it, so can't be bad. Why is it so important to avoid the boost button on Facebook? Again, maybe I missed it. At the end of the day, you can't track your conversions. Even if you are like super skilled and you know where all the mini targeting options are and all the ways that Facebook can trip you up with that button, even if you know how to avoid them, like I do, you still can't track your conversions. So you can only optimize for page post engagements. And that's it. And that's cool. I'm glad that people clicked on my ad, but I want to know how many of them signed up from it, how much that cost me, and that information you cannot get from a boosted post, at least if you do it with the boost post button. So Absolute FB Ads includes the bootcamp bonus. Yes, sorry if that wasn't clear. It is part of it. Whole thing for $97. Not seeing the link. Can you say what it is? Yes. Sorry about that. That should have showed up, but it is clairepells.com/absolute FB ads. If somebody could be so kind as to throw that into the chat, that would be awesome. Is there a good way to A/B test Facebook ads? Yep. There are great ways to do it, and you have a couple different options. I actually go into detail about testing the creative part in Absolute FB Ads, but you have really two ways of doing it. You can create, let's just, very simple example. You have an ad with the same copy, different images. You can put those two ads in the same ad set and just run them. Have you ever noticed that only one or two of your ads will get shown and the other ones just stop getting impressions? That is an A/B test right there. Facebook optimizes your campaigns for the most successful ads. So if your ads are being shown to people and it's getting like a 0.05 conversion rate, then compared to another ad that's getting a 2.5 conversion, click-through. If people are clicking more on one than another, Facebook is going to stop showing the one that's not getting the results. The other way to A/B test is with ad sets. So the same exact ads, but targeting different audiences. Let's see. Hi. How do you target people who like your competitor? You mentioned it early on when you did an Amy Porterfield ad. Sorry. So that's part of interests. Inside, this is both in the Ads Manager or the Power Editor. Under interests, you can put things like blogging or social media marketing. But what I do is I target pages. So in this case, I just write Amy Porterfield, and that's going to generally target her fans. Here's the downside: is that if a page is not in Facebook's, if it's not in their system, then you just can't use it. And there are lots of pages that aren't in their system. There are pages that have tons of likes that aren't in their system. Like last year I was trying to target Danielle Laporte for people who liked Danielle Laporte for like months and just didn't show up. And that girl's got, I don't know how many likes. So it's weird sometimes, the ones that don't show up. But typically they are smaller pages. I don't have an exact number of like how many likes it's required, but you really just have to try things out, and you will get frustrated when the pages that you want to target aren't in there, but you'll kind of learn to deal with it and look for other similar pages that have more likes. If I'm launching my business in late October and don't already have a working business that's growing, would your FB Ads program still be applicable for me, or should I wait? Really great question. You know, I want to tell you to wait, because launches, you know, anything can really happen. If you can prove that you've got organic traffic that's signing up for your list, then yeah, the program will be great, and you're going to have a couple weeks to figure that out if you want to get in on in order to get in on the bootcamp. And the way you do that is by putting Google Analytics up and driving as much organic traffic as you can. The other thing, though, is if you have a distinct feeling that your business is going to, you're going to make some money from your business, this program is a good way to learn. And it's a great time to get it now at this price because it's never going to be this inexpensive again. So it's something that you can have in your back pocket. You can go through the boot camp to really make sure that your ad copy is great and your image is great before you start running ads, even if you aren't quite ready to. But again, that's really up to you, and I'm not going to say like, yes, spend money on something now if you don't really know, if you don't feel confident in your results. If you do feel confident, I mean, I think it's a pretty inexpensive investment to learn something that could really become a huge part of your marketing plan. You mentioned Amy Porterfield earlier. How does your training differ from hers? I don't know. I have not gone through Amy's program. She's great. I've gotten feedback from people that they felt overwhelmed, but that is it. I really can't speak to anything more than that. I know that I just made my product super intentionally to make sure you have what you need and not the things you don't. Also, this product is, it's got me in it. So if you like me, if you feel like, oh, cool, I like this vibe, I like her voice, that's more of what you're going to get in this program. And if you're not really loving that, then, probably not for you. Hi, if we join your 30-day program, what sort of budget do we need for Facebook ads? Anything. I mean, I have a lot of my clients run ads with $15 a day, $20 a day. Again, I recommend you spend a little more up front, but it doesn't have to be a lot, and it doesn't have to be all the time. It can be a great idea to take, like, okay, I'm going to put $100 and I'm going to run ads for a week, and within that week you'll have enough information to optimize your campaign. And then that $100 will hopefully have gotten you good results. But if you really, really, really don't have money that you can kind of invest in an experiment, I would say don't go for Facebook ads, because that is really the truth. If the prices are going up, and I certainly can't guarantee any results. I know what I've been able to do for my clients and what I've done for my own business. So yeah, if you're super strapped for cash, I would say wait until you've got some money you can invest in this experiment. Claire, hi, nice content. Quickie, is your program tailored to businesses already with a big list, or can I benefit starting out with the blocks with no list yet? Well, I started running Facebook ads when I had about 90 people on my list, maybe less. It was really the fastest way that I grew my list, which again it's not huge, but it's certainly substantial enough that I felt comfortable to put something out there in a launch. You can check out, I have data actually about the different ways that I've built my list over on the sales page, which is, again, clairepells.com/absolute FB ads, all one word. You can see a shot of my Google Analytics to see how many signups I got and the different sources of those signups. When is the class/bootcamp starting? So as soon as you purchase, you get access to the course, which is, again, mostly PDF format plus a couple other multimedia aspects. The bootcamp starts on September 22nd, which is the Monday after the cart closes. So you'll have time to really get through things and then start working on your ads. Oh, and something that I failed to mention is that if you go through the course and you go through the bootcamp and you really don't like the content or your results, then there is a money back guarantee. All you have to say is, hey, this didn't work. I just it wasn't my thing, and you'll get your money back. I'll definitely ask for feedback so that I know how to improve it, but yeah, there is a money back guarantee. So again, the class starts on the 22nd. Let's see, what else? I made some successful Facebook ads in the past using just simple Ads Manager. When I start to use Power Editor, will I lose access to the old data, previous ads, and stats from Ads Manager? No, you will not, which is really awesome. That's a great question, actually. Thank you for asking it. Nope, everything gets pulled in, which is this download button. It doesn't download anything to your computer. It actually just pulls your info into that page in your browser. I'm not sure why they call it that, but how do you get a Facebook Power Editor? Sorry, I have never heard of it till this evening. Awesome. Okay, here's what you do. You need a Chrome browser. You can only access the Power Editor in Chrome. So once you're in Chrome, you go to, and maybe somebody will do me a favor and put this into the chat, facebook.com/ads/manage/Power Editor, all one word. And that's how you get in there. Oh wow, welcome to the Power Editor. I'm so excited to have been your initiator. I use Google Analytics, but I'm not sure that I have it set up correctly or in a way that's really useful. Is that part of Absolute FB Ads? It is not, but I have resources on my blog about how to get your goals set up. You could do a quick Google search, Claire Pell's Google Analytics, and that should help you get set up. I can tell you if Google Analytics is set up on your page. If you want to shoot me an email and just link me to your page, I can just tell you if it is set up. I can't tell you if you've got the goals or anything set up correctly, but I'd be happy to just double check that. Will your training offer lots of quote free FB tactical posts rather than paying for them? Like organic Facebook marketing? No. This is Facebook marketing, the organic stuff is really a different animal than Facebook ads. They're kind of tied in because of the social proof stuff, which is, targeting friends of your fans, which is super useful. If you're not doing that already, I highly recommend it. But no, I do not cover regular Facebook marketing. There are lots of people out there, though, that do. So yeah, good luck with that. I hope that you get those questions answered. Do you recommend daily budget over lifetime budget? The only reason that I use lifetime budget from time to time is to test out the question of scheduling when people see my ads. I happen to notice that people tend to get on my list late at night my time, and so I'm in Argentina, and that means I'm an hour ahead or sometimes 2 hours ahead of the East Coast. So I've just tested that out. It didn't make a huge difference for me, but the only way to schedule the times of days that your ads get seen is by choosing a lifetime budget. It's really the same the way your ads get shown to people. It's not like Facebook is going to take a $50 lifetime budget and spend 40 of it in a day. You pick the number of days, and then it just evenly puts that out, put your ads out. So I think those are all the questions that I have spotted. I really hope that you guys got a lot out of this. I know that it was a whole lot of information. Maybe some of it was kind of advanced. I hope that it really made you think about, okay, great, I know I want to use Facebook ads, but I need to get some other things in place in my business first, or this is definitely what I'm going to do for my next launch. And I really, really hope to see you inside the bootcamp starting on September 22nd. Again, that link to check out more info about Absolute FB Ads, to really get details about what's in the program, is at clairepells.com/absolutefbads. It was awesome to hang out with you guys. We should really do it again soon, like really soon. I like this stuff. Thank you so much. Have an awesome weekend, and I will see you guys on my blog or on the Twitters. Bye.